let's see what it means, this expo, for the country of China, also for the city of Shanghai, where we're going to bring in Bob Theleen now, who's of ChinaVest. Nice to see you joining us here on the expo grounds this morning. Let me just ask you about this expo. I mean, $44 billion sounds like a lot of money to spend. I mean, is Shanghai trying to prove something here?
Absolutely. I think if you look at what the Olympics were to China as a whole, maybe Shanghai for urban development. If China's goal is to be urbanized at the rate of 70% over the next 10 years, Shanghai is certainly the symbol of urbanization, and I think that Expo is the coming out party for the city of Shanghai to the world, as on the world stage.
Yeah, this is the most that any city has ever spent on the World Expo, and the first developing nation to host the event.
That's right, Susan. And if you look at the amount of infrastructure, not just for Shanghai, but it's sort of a catalyst for infrastructure everywhere. The story of China that's maybe a little underreported is just how much infrastructure has been built in the last 10 years everywhere.
I thought you said the story of China was underreported. I thought, no, my goodness.
Infrastructure.
It is the story for the last while. But what did you think of China's tightening measures? I mean, we're seeing reserve ratios being tightened 50 basis points, right? People are talking about RMB moves and possibly higher interest rates, but yet they're coming out to spend $44 billion on one event when really, are we going to keep these structures afterwards? What about investment?
Well, it's like the old story about someone who buys 3 Ferraris, says, why'd you do that? And the answer was, because I can. And that's a bit of the answer with Shanghai, because we can. But in the serious point about tightening of money, clearly there's several levels to look at that issue. One is bank tightening. The other is the resources within state-owned enterprises that have huge amounts of capital that have gone into the property sector. So it's not just bank tightening. The tools that China has to tighten money have to become somewhat more sophisticated, and that's one of the issues that China faces. But administrative control combined with regulation are the keys, and it's working one-on-one with both of those aspects.
Okay, when you say more sophisticated tightening measures, I mean, what does China need to employ right now to get its economy under wraps?
Well, first of all, you can look at capital markets development, which is in early stage development. China needs more instruments to invest in. When we talk about Mrs. Wong gets 2% on her money when she deposits in the bank, she wants a better yield on that. And so when that money goes into things like property as the only alternative to investment, that's an issue. So China needs to build a capital markets industry. That's an example of more sophisticated, a bond market, more sophisticated products that investors can invest in.
I was talking to Fang Xinghai, who's the Director of Financial Services at the Shanghai government, and the Chinese authorities say that they want Shanghai to be a global financial center by the year 2020 to rival New York's. Is that really going to be possible? How realistic is that goal?
You know what? What's interesting about that is that, of course, it wants to be a financial center, but it also wants to be an industrial center. How many people know that companies like IBM and Honeywell have practically world operations here, where they are looking at moving more and more of their positions of industrial centers to Shanghai? So it's a combination, financial leadership and financial center and industrial center, that goes hand in glove. So how to get there? Well, one of the ways to do that is by attracting the best and brightest people from all over the world. And Expo does that in a way. It says, come here and take a look at us. We're the new kid on the block. We're the new giant on the block, and we're a livable city. We're a city of the future. We're edgy. We're smart. And you can bring not only yourself, you can bring your business here too.
Right. Well, Fang Xinghai also said that there are a lot of corporate conglomerates, multinationals that want to list here in Shanghai as a way, maybe as a symbol of their dedication to the mainland.
For sure, and those aspects of industrialization are that they can operate here effectively, and even companies like GM, which now have moved their international headquarters from Europe to Shanghai, which is in IBM, 125 countries in all operations report now to China, and you could repeat that over and over again. So it's that plus a financial center, and China doesn't want to be the leader in just the region. It, as you said, it's looking at New York and London for a leadership position. That's right.
Now we keep saying over and over again that Shanghai has spent an estimated $44 billion on this event. We have 192 nations participating, as many as in the UN, but how many of them actually paid for it with their own money privately?
That's actually, Shanghai's rather proud that they subsidize some of the poor countries in the world to do that, and maybe that's a positive mark. I think the mayor of Shanghai said something recently, which was I don't know how well it got reported. He said he was thanking groups of Shanghainese who built the expo, and he said, our construction is over. We're not going to build our economy anymore with construction. We can only build it if we fill these buildings with the services that go with it. So I think the race is on for how does China balance its economy and how does Shanghai balance its economy between industry and services.
Okay, Bob, well, I want to thank you so much for dropping by.